We're doing it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Houston, We Have a Problem. Here I am with my faithful sidekick, the monkey butt destroyer of worlds. That's you. And we're here to talk about, well, the news. It appears the chinks in the armor are forming. We have a revised January jobs report, revising it down 125,000 jobs. More layoffs in February 2009, more layoffs now than in February 2009, when the economy was absolutely in the shitter. So there's some signs happening. Softbank got hit hard. They lost 30% after hours yesterday. And then Nvidia dropped 875. They lost, 875 after hours. Holy crap. So they've lost $100, $110 so far today. Damn. Okay, I went a lot further. That's a lot more than so whoever it puts on Nvidia, you did a great job. They cost a lot of money and you just made a lot of money on them. So congratulations on that. And the Fed came out, Bernanke was like, hey, commercial real estate means all the banks are fucked. And then New York Community Bank had to take a weird $1 billion bailout from a whole bunch of market makers and hedge funds, which is a good sign for your bank when you've got to go to the lenders of last resort, which is the assholes who made the problem in the first place. And they come together and they buy your bank up at 2009 prices. So yeah, New York Community Bank probably toast. That $1 billion that they got from Citadel and Susquehanna and others is probably gone. The bank, the Federal Reserve has been limiting banks having to report sort of their health for the past couple of years. And now the banks are kind of asking that they never get asked about their health ever again, which is, a huge sign of confidence. So we've got a lot of great things to look forward to coming up here as, the world burns. Yeah.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. All right. Kelly Reed gets in here first. Citadel and friends help bail out New York Community Bank. It's interesting that usually the rats flee the sinking ship and are happy to get as far away as possible. My guess is that the feds weren't going to step in. My guess is the FDIC doesn't have any money left. Apparently, there is a whopping load of liability still from Silicon Valley Bank, and which other ones went down? It was First Republic and Signature. Those ones, they got nothing left. They used all of it. It's what we're seeing here, I think, is the problem that AIG had in the mortgage crisis, right? They insured all of these mortgage-backed securities, not thinking that it all collapsed at once. So they're like, oh, this one might go down. Yeah, I'll pay that one out. This one might go down. Yeah, I'll pay that one out. But not that they would all collapse at once. It's like, Geico would blink out of existence and Warren Buffett will be worthless if every car in America got into an accident at the same time. That would be it. Poof. Geico is no more, right? They don't, the math behind this does not count on a catastrophe on such a wide scale that takes out everything all at once. And that is what the FDIC is looking at. They're looking at every regional bank in America blinking out of existence due to the liabilities they have on commercial real estate. So yeah, the feds don't have the muscle or the money to step in at the moment. And they would have to authorize printing on a scale we haven't seen since COVID, which, is not good to have when you are facing massive inflation problems for the last 2 years. So they're hoping that they can just go la 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 and everything will be fine. And it's not going to work. They're just putting off the inevitable at this point. Yeah. Kelly Reed, to say the banks and counterparty risk is too great to other institutions, so they have to shore that up. Things getting spicy. Yeah, basically, it's the banks who have a little bit of scratch, or the market makers, or the institutions, and they're like, here, little baby bird, I'll feed you what little crumbs I have. And the baby bird's like, I'm growing, I need more, and there's nothing they can do about it. So, Deck P, HW. Charlie sounds exactly like my younger brother. Had to check it wasn't him. Yes, thank you so much for coming on, Charlie. I learned a ton. I mean, I did not know any of the history of Lampert or anything. Like, it's fantastic. I did not know about. I'd heard about the reinsurance company in Bermuda, but I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't know that they were basically like Sears. The retail side is just a subsidiary of this larger thing, and the subsidiary is what's dying right there. So cool. I learned a lot. Oh, Lone Wolf, you're third. Grape Knowles or Grape Nuts. Houston. Roost. I called Schwab and they said that my BBYQ position will be reported on my taxes as a loss. However, if the company decides on their own volition to issue new shares, I'll get them. Does that sound right to you? Sure. I mean, every broker has been completely different. Others are like, it's gone forever and you'll get nothing. Some are like, won't report it as a loss. They're like, no, it's being held and it's sitting there and your loss isn't official yet. So it's as good an answer as anybody else has gotten out of this so far. Michael O'Hara, I guess the FDIC doesn't have much left to bail out the banks. Exactly. Bingo. They got nothing left, man. And they're looking at like 90% of the banks in America are like teetering on the edge of a cliff, and they're going, So even big boys are having problems. Chris Taylor's here. Brandon Wells is here. B-Ball 3710. Is there anything going on with GME the last few months or next few months? Market crash, the only path to money? They've got their earnings coming up this month. I've not heard an official report as when the earnings will be. Some say it is the 19th. Some say it's the 27th. Let's see if Q4 earnings date. Okay. They're saying March 27th. They're saying March 27th. They're saying March 19th. Okay. Anything from GameStop itself? Oops. Let's try GameStop investor relations. How about that? Okay, I'm getting is the consensus for the earnings report is going to be 25 cents a share. So they're going to have to beat that to make everyone happy. You have to go probably like $1 to make everyone happy. Unconfirmed, still unconfirmed, either 27th or the 19th. Man, GameStop, just give it to me. Just give it to me. Where is notified investor relations? Okay, let's see that. Okay, nothing. Yeah, they posted nothing about which date, which is really going to hurt my options play here. Because either I got to buy a whole bunch of options either next Friday, 15th, or the following Friday, the 22nd. And I would rather have it be 22nd because I get paid on the 21st. I don't know. I did come up with a plan. All right. Here's my plan for my options play that I'm doing this time around. Follow along, see how you like it. Okay. Okay. Oops, I forgot to put on the actual calculator. That would help. Bing. That's not a calculator. That's calculated. There we go. Okay. So, let me just look at what the weeklies are doing at the moment because I forgot to check the price on Friday. So, looking at March 15th. Okay, so just out of the money. Ooh, 38 cents. Okay, so, all right. We're going to pretend we got $1,000 because $1,000 usually makes the math easy. Okay, so if I buy weeklies, right? And let's say next week is the earnings call. So I'm buying weeklies this Friday. I'm going to buy as many as I can. I got $1,000 just out of the money. So the stock price is like 14 something and $15 is the next level up and they're 38 cents each. Okay. So $38. So I'm going to get, come on, work mouse. I'm going to get 26 of them. All right, I got 26 options just out of the money, right? And we know that the price usually kind of gets bumped up in the days leading up to earnings, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's probably going to go up $3, $4, right? So let's say I've got my 26 options and it goes up $3 above my strike price. I made roughly $300 on each one of those. Boom. $7,800. I sell every last one of those things. Sell every one of them. Done. Theta decay results in the price of further out of the money options dropping quite a lot. Even if the price is going up, you might be able to pick up something that's $5 to $7 out of the money. And I'm going to take, of this $7,800, I'm going to take 6,800 of it. And I'm going to buy, oops, I need a division sign. I'm going to buy as many as I can. And the options, $5 out, might be about $4 at the time. So, I don't know how I'm going to get for $4. I get 1,700. I'll get 1,700 that are due in 2 days, right? They expire in 2 days. So my entire goal is really the earnings report. The price goes, woohoo, goes up $10 or something, maybe $12. And I do $500 or so off every single one of those ones, right? So boom, there's $850,000. Okay, that's cool if that happens. If it doesn't happen, I'm taking the other $1,000 I have, right? And I'm going to buy as many puts as I can get. And I'm going to buy the puts at the money. So I'm going to get as many as I can at the money. That might be about 50 cents, so about $50 for each one. So I'm getting 20 of those puts. If the hedge funds, if earnings don't go that well, or the hedge funds are like, we're going to hammer this thing down regardless of what earnings are, like they do most quarters, the price will probably drop $5. So price drops $5, so that's $500 a share. Okay, I just got the money back that I basically lost and then some, and I'm good to go. So that's how I'm going to hedge this sucker. I'm going to play the lotto ticket, and I'm going to take a small chunk of that thing, hedge it, and that the shorts are going to do their thing. And if that's the case, then I still come out on top, hopefully, fingers crossed, unless they manage to like hit that max pain somehow for me. Splitting the difference on both of them. But that's the play I'm going to do and see where it goes. My guess is that if it rockets after hours because of a really sexy earnings report, they'll probably try to hammer it down early morning Thursday. So probably within about 30 minutes after opening is when you're going to start seeing them hammer it down. Unless it goes up so high after hours on Wednesday that all of a sudden everyone's freaking out and then we get ourselves like a 2021 situation. So I may, if I do win big, I may take a chunk of that thing, buy some puts, weekly puts for the next day as well, and just play in intraday and see what I can get if they hammer it down $5-10 or something, and just play that way, and then buy as many shares as possible with the money I get on it, and then walk away. So that's my goal. That's how I'm playing it this time around. Follow along that week of weeklies of the earnings, and let's see how it goes. Right? Oh, I did not. You're off. You're off. I feel like my light is really bright right now. I'll turn down a notch. Okay. Yeah, it's better. I think it's the same bright it's always been, but I just feel like it's too bright at the moment. Okay. Where was I? Someone's asking about GME, things happening. And that's the stuff that's happening at GME. It's the earnings coming up, and that's about it. Moo Poolin, can you please explain the 100 days after the effective date, March 27th, BBY? I also keep hearing the 12th. Are we about to lose our share rights? No. No. The only way you lose share rights is if someone comes in with cash, buys everything, and then has no interest in the nulls. That's it. So there you go. That's it. If they want just like, hey, I'm just gonna spend $1 billion paying off all these creditors, and I'm done. I'm out. Okay, but if they want to use the nulls, they gotta make sure we get our shares. So I have no idea as to what the 180 days after effective date crap, like all the dates everyone throws out there have been 100% wrong so far. So I just ignore the dates and wait for an actual result to happen, and just post up doing what we do best. Just right here, just humming along, living our life, twiddling our thumbs. And that is all anyone can ask of us at this point. So, yeah. Remember, there are plays that have gone on for a decade that then someone utilized the nulls and the share price shot up to tens of dollars and everyone got their money back and then some. Oh, crap. Meow Meow's asking about the green slime. Oh, my God. I still have not watched it. I have a problem. My DVD player, which is also like the home entertainment system tube amplifier thingy, started turning on randomly, making loud noises, and I had to unplug it, and I have not looked at it. So I don't have a way of playing the DVDs at the moment. I had to figure what's going on with that thing. What weird electronics is happening in there, monkey, to make it go right? You know what I'm talking about. You were here freaking out about that sound. So, I will watch it one of these days. Monkey butt, I will watch it. I will watch it. I will watch it. I will watch it. You're such a chunk. You're just the fattest little man in the world. Fattest little man in the world. Oh yeah, turn off your intro, cat. Don't let me make a goofy. Oh, you're such a scratchy dude. You're like petting a furry Thanksgiving turkey. That's what you are. Okay. Where was I? 101 Nas 101. Houston, if you ever create a Discord, do not let Rock Solid mod it for you. Oh my God. I don't know who Rock Solid is, 101 Nas. Nor will I ever have a Discord, because Discord, on a personal note, Discord is the most frustrating social media platform to use ever. I do not understand the brain that organized it. I can never find anything like people, you've been mentioned on Discord, and I go to try and find the conversation. Cannot find it. You have to scroll back like 10 weeks. I have no idea where the thing is that someone commented and mentioned my name. So I just eliminated Discord from my life because I cannot stand the format. It's like if schizophrenia was a social media app, that's to me Discord. Lone Wolf. Great, now it's not an expert, but on reading 1099, but my BBYQ is not listed as a loss. Was told by E-Trade that I'm on record owning the shares. Hope they don't try and screw me. Have them on recorded line. Well, see, there you go. See, it's every brokerage is different, and it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. I'm so confused. Michael Steegs, Houston. Is it just me, or are hedge funds having more trouble to keep the price down? This is strange to me considering the volume is so low. Can you explain? I think that at the moment, they're not doing the normal shorting they would do because the earnings are coming up and they may be holding onto their ammo for earnings. So I think that's what they're waiting on there. Because if you hammer it down now and the earnings are fantastic, then you have nothing left in the tank to like do what you need to do. So I think that they're just kind of like frozen in fear at the moment and trying to calculate when would be the next best time to do that. Monkey butt. It's not time. It's not time at all. We're only 22 minutes in the show. It's not time for nuggies. So hang tight, man. Okay, they read banks. If we report the economy will crash, Fed, say no more. You got one year. 1 year later, banks, we didn't do anything to fix it. Say no more. You've got 2 years. 2 years later, banks, it's not going to happen. Can we make it permanent? Yeah. And yeah, the bank term funding program ends on Monday as Clean Me Up Scotty. That's a good name. Clean Me Up Scotty. That's a good name. That ends on Monday, and so the banks have to go to the discount window. The discount window is not much of a discount. The interest rates are a lot higher, so you can't take that money, immediately dump it into a reverse repo and make cash off of it like they have been. So yeah, this dog is just burning a hole in my head right now. You just want so many videos to play. That's it. You want so many videos to play, Monkey. You're just a video addict. That's what's happening. One nuggie. Come on. Come on. There's a nuggie. And 2 nuggies. Into the Jaws cam. Wait, I turn off the nuggie stare before I go Jaws cam. In the Jaws cam. Jaws cam. Oh, ah. All right. Okay. If we're going to have nuggies for Monkey, then Houston gets a Lifesaver gummy. Tastes like cough drop. Meow meow. Could Gmae issue a one-time dividend if they're profitable for the trailing 12? I don't know. I think if they're going to offer a dividend, they're going to do a dividend that is a quarterly thing. I don't think they're going to do a one-time one. I think it'd be quarterly. I don't think it'll be like as high as like $1 a quarter, like what IEP is doing. I think it would be probably about 25 cents a quarter. That's enough to really freak out the shorts because there are tech stocks that are worth hundreds of dollars to offer less dividend than that. And yeah, I think you shoot for about 25 cents a quarter, $1 a year, 300 million a year, which is, they did like 400 million profit last year. So that allows them to pay it out and receive back enough to like do capital expenditures and things they need, R&D, rehoming stores, remodeling stores, things like that. I think that the amount of money they have as profit is going to go up. I wouldn't doubt if GameStop uses their big chunk of money to do some real estate investments. Because think about this. They have a boatload of leases that are expiring this year, right? In a market where the customer can basically demand any price they want for space, for rent. And so they will probably be able to cut their rent and get long-term deals on a lot of them, or they could even purchase the property that their stores are in and own that, and possibly own other storefronts and be a landlord themselves. Because these places are going to sell for a song. You might be able to buy a place for cheaper than you would rent it for at this point, because a lot of these strip malls are going under. So, I guess we wait and see exactly what's going to happen with that. But I think that their overhead is going to drop significantly in the next couple of years due to renegotiating leases and possibly buying property. And then once you have property on hand too, that ups the assets of your company and makes it harder to hammer the stock down, because you'd be like, hey, we're trading at $2 billion market cap, but we own $3 billion in real estate. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It makes it really hard for them to hammer that stuff down if you can point to that in your books, especially if you're making profit off it, renting other people, doing stuff like that. So I wouldn't doubt we'd see something like that. LAMF161. I preface this by saying I know F all about intricacies of technology, but No Lab's marred results of 11.1% seem pretty disappointing given that they achieved 11.3% in July. Market wasn't pleased. I don't think it was the market wasn't pleased. I think it was shorts are hammering them down. The 11.1% is better results than the invasive glucose monitors that are out there. So it's pretty good. Yeah, I think Nextcom was like 12%. So it's pretty darn good. That's why they were so excited to announce it. They're like, look at this. It's amazing. I don't think it was the market was hammering them down because they're disappointed. I think it was the shorts are trying to figure out what to do, and they're going to try to hammer it down right now. I'm sure, I think Ron gets back this week. I have a message sent to him about the whole Lind Capital thing, and I hope to hear back from him on it. Because, I mean, it's true. It seems like every company Lind lends to gets hammered out into oblivion. So I hope either Ron's aware of that or has a contingency plan or something. Aaron Southampton, Houston. Did you see the $12 million deal? No Labs? Yes, I saw that. Toxic loan accepted. So Lind Partners is going to naked short the hell out of No Labs like every other stock they do. That's been the fear. But $12 million is not that much money. I think the people involved can come up with that money in other ways if they really, really need to, and just pay off Lind and get them out of there if that becomes the case. LAMF 161. Do you think it's a result of the algorithm or the shortcomings of the sensor, or both? It's not really that much of a shortcoming. It's a really good result for the sensor. It's a better result than anyone else has gotten, even with invasive glucose monitors. So it's pretty good. Tim Rochant, Houston. Is everything really going to shit, or are things not that bad, but I'm watching X posts too much? No, I think that we are definitely in a bubble. But I think the effects of the bubble are being staved off by producing more bubble. That makes sense. It's like, whoa, we can't let this thing deflate, so we're going to inflate it even more. Like there's it's like a bouncy house, right? So a bouncy house, you can fill out, you can like inflate a big giant bouncy house, right? And close it off, like plug the hole, and then you got this thing people jumping around in, but like one bad jump, the thing can pop because there's nowhere for the air to go, right? But in this case, what they're doing is like a bouncy house where you got the big air engine pushing air in, and there's like a small hole that can be a release valve. So all this air is going in constantly. They just have to make sure the pressure is greater of the air inside of the bouncy house than outside. People can bounce around all day long, and they don't have to worry about popping the thing. It seems like one of those situations, and it might not be staked down. So when there's a high wind, it's going to like whip some toddlers 1,000 feet in the air, and everyone's gonna be like, "Winter saw it coming." I don't know where I'm going with this metaphor, but I just ran with it. Jason Blackwell, Houston. Comarcus got tired of watching the Earth spin, so after 24 hours, he called it a day. Whisker Biscuit. How is it that Trump, Biden, and former crackhead are the only options for president? There has to be some level-headed politician, either party, maybe in their 50s or 60s, that could be president. I don't know why we only have really old people who don't seem to be at their A game. Trump, Biden, Kennedy, like, I don't know how a guy could be taken seriously who was a heroin addict for years, gave his wife Hep C, told her to kill herself, and then she did. Is at all a front runner in any people's minds. Kennedy is awful. He's a terrible, terrible person. He's got zero conscience. Yeah, I don't even understand that one. He doesn't really seem to stand for anything either, except for like pushing blatant Russian propaganda. Aaron Saltine, do you think Houston No Labs will pay back a loan with Lynn Partners and trap the shorts like Lynn Partners has? Would that would be sweet to buy thousands of No Lab shares at pennies or a penny? I don't know. I have no idea. I think that they're looking at basically a year of operating expenses to get them through filing with the FDA. And once if they get FDA approval, then money will rain down from heaven from the markets to fund them. It's all getting to that point of can they get FDA approval? If they get FDA approval, smooth sailing. If for some reason they get wiped out before they even get the chance, well, then that's the problem, right? But I don't think that that's gonna be a problem for them. Chris Taylor, and there's only one policy on the car. There could be N number of policies protecting a single risk. Oh, yeah. So you could have multiple insurance problems going down because someone's like, oh, I'm going to get 2 insurance policies. Haha. Leela, do you see Spirit going bankrupt? It sounds like it's headed that way. ICANN bought JetBlue, cut off the potential for a merger. He was like, no. And Spirit sucks. So like no one wants to fly with them because it's the worst airline in the entire world. And like if they had prices like Ryanair, people would be like, oh, I'll put up with the crap. But the only reason Ryanair can do that is because they're subsidized by the Irish government. Like if the federal government was subsidizing Spirit Air, so they're offering like $5 flights across the country and you had to put up with all their bullshit, people will put up their bullshit. But the prices are like this much less than being on a real airline and being treated almost like a person. Like all you ever hear from people who fly Spirit Airlines is, oh, I got a great deal in Spirit Airlines. I went to Vegas. I will never fly on them again. And if that is the response of your passenger class, you cannot get repeat business, then you might be doing a few things wrong. Like maybe don't spare all expenses and have a couple of expenses, right? Just to make people so they aren't so pissed off they won't fly with you again. Like if you make people so angry they willingly search out full fare airlines to never experience what you had them experience, then you've got a really bad business model. And so I think the idea of JetBlue was we sell our tickets almost as low as Spirit Airlines, but we make people feel like human beings while being a discount airline. And so we just want their routes. And that's it. We will just paint their plane JetBlue, treat people like humans. The price will be $5 more a flight. And there you go. I think that's kind of, yeah. Huge Unit. Another great name. Houston, do you have any thoughts on Overstock acquiring Zulily? The Mark Vandon connection has me jacked. Happy birthday. I mean, I've got friends who work at Zulily. Zulily is based here in Seattle. It's actually based in the old Art Institute building the Art Institute used to own. Boom. Google Earth. Oh no, where'd you go, Google Earth? Oh, that's right. I had to restart the computer. One sec. Google Earth is coming. I had to reload it. No, dude, you already got it. Get up there. You're not getting any more. You greedy little dog. Come on. Get into the window you're supposed to be. There we go. Okay. So. Downtown Seattle. Get down here. ferry boats, Pier 66. Okay. This big ass building here along the waterfront. See that guy? There's the Edgewater Hotel. This is the World Trade Center. This was the Art Institute of Seattle. You can see right there, Art Institute of Seattle. This was the main building. And then we also owned this huge building down here that was a couple blocks long. And it's like 7 stories tall. Real Networks was housed in there. And Zulily, their base of operations is in this building. The Art Institute had, well, it was like this part of the building, maybe about that big. They had the top floor and they had the bottom floor, and then the middle floors were full of like businesses and offices and stuff. Anyway, this big building is worth probably, or you know, in 2019 is probably worth over $100 million easily. It's huge. In 2013, 14, the Goldman Sachs VP douchebags who were controlling the Art Institute sold this building for $12 million. It's a $100 million building. They sold it for $12 million. Gave themselves $12 million bonus, skipped town. And then rented the building back from the new owner for $600,000 a year for our 2 floors. So they used to make $7 million a year, $6 million a year just on rent. So in 2 years of owning that building, you would get as much money as they got selling it to whoever they sold it to. So stupid. It's the dumbest, stupidest thing. It's just so dumb. I don't know how else to say that. Anyway, Zulily's based in here. So I have friends and students who were fashion majors at the Art Institute would do their internships at Zulily and then end up, being fashion marketing people at Zulily. So like a lot of my students were fed in there as well. But yeah, so I have no idea are they just buying the brand? Are they buying the company to be an independent standalone company? Are they like, what are they doing with it, man? I'm very curious to find out. It makes a lot of money. It's profitable as far as I know. So yeah, it seems to me that Beyond is trying to become a conglomerate. That's what they're doing. And they're reopening the Overstock brand because there's money to be made there as well. Because Overstock was a profitable company. Right, so you can be Bed Bath & Beyond and you can be Overstock. So there's space for both of those things. You add in a fashion retailer like Zulily. Now they got the new baby brand. They're going to be doing home mortgages and insurance, and everyone's kind of following that model of Berkshire Hathaway, where you become an insurance company and you use that insurance company to build even more profitability for everything else. Becomes like this fountain of money that you can feed into everything else. So seems like it's a pretty good buy to me. Seems pretty good to me. Okay. Julius Miami, Cybertruck with the tent has your name all over it. Sapien, can't wait to see them get great big knolls of fire. Turkish, where's the money, Lebowski? Jason Blackwell, like the one I could share with the kids. There you go. Puma 98. I was researching the partnership between Ripple, XRP, and XLR, but I found something I was not expecting. Dragonfly is an investor of XLR, and I found GameStop under their future of gaming. Huh. Well, I mean, interesting. I think a lot of people look at XRP and they're like, oh, it's going to explode one of these days. It cannot. And I've talked about this before. It is a bank-to-bank protocol, meaning banks overseas want to send money back and forth. They can use the XRP to do that. And they don't want a lot of volatility in money they're sending back and forth that could be in the hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. And so I don't think you're ever going to see XRP to go to like $1,000. I just don't think that's going to happen. They want to keep it stable. They want to keep it minimal, pretty close to a unit of currency for a nation, probably US dollars. And so I think it's a platform created for stability, not for speculation. And I think a lot of people who are jumping into it for speculation are finding themselves going when nothing's happening. Because it's not supposed to. That's not supposed to be like Bitcoin. Bitcoin, Yesterday, Bitcoin was up like 7%, down 6%, back up 5%, all in one trading day. Like, chill out, man. You want to be the currency of the future? Currency can't do that. That is not currency if it is wildly flying around like that. So, but yeah, it is interesting who's partnered behind it. And Puma 98, something else I found was the Leap wallet that has a frog as a logo. Need more? Jason Blackwell, save the dirtier ones for the Twitch stream. All right, we'll try to do one of these this weekend. You can get it out of your system. Your friend is here. Lexington Productions. Houston, happy birthday. Weeble's asking $235 for transfer to AST. Can they do that? What can we do to avoid this fee? Direct them to NextBridge. Somebody else sent me a thing that Webull acquiesced and was only charging them $75. So apparently there is something you can do. I don't know exactly what they did to make that happen. But I say send them the press release saying you shouldn't be charged at all. Be like, look, this is your job. This is what you're supposed to do for me as part of you existing as a brokerage. So just do it already. That's what I say. Avocados, boobies, indeed. Joseph Lee, where can I buy some Sears? I looked on Fidelity. I can only find Sears Canada. You cannot buy Sears. There is Sears Canada, but Sears holding company is on the expert market, and you are not an expert. I'm not an expert. No one in this chat is an expert. You have to be like accredited investor, an institution of some kind. You have to be someone who is big and powerful and like is probably in an Epstein video in order to buy it. Avocados, what is that ooh ah track from Houston? Freshman intro to geology class? You'll have to ask Alexander. He's the one who made it, so I don't know where it came from. Jason Blackwell, Houston, you couldn't prevent double intros when you had one intro. Double the fun. Quadruple the intros. One of these days, I'm just going to play all the intros all at once for you, and you guys will know what hell is like. Robert Hurt, any chance you have a show while this is all going on during the Genie earnings? Woohoo! I'm going to try. I think the earnings will be usually they're like an hour after market close. So I can try. That's usually about when I try to go on. If it's on a Wednesday, that's doable. So I'll give it a whirl. And I can go, oh shit. Regardless. D says, happy birthday, Houston, pick your animals for me. Well, there's one right there. You have lint on your butt. And then the other one's sitting on the floor over here, being grumpy that I won't let him out after I let him back in. Mike Flavor Sova, hey, Grandpa, tell us again about the great thumb twiddling of 2024. Back in my day, we used to twiddle thumbs and play with sticks. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, Houston. Canada's unemployment rate rises to 5.8% despite 41,000 jobs added in February. Our sliding GDP per capita has told us we were adding a lot of people in low-value positions. Well, Canada's added a lot of people in general to the country. Was it you that was talking about that they added like 1.1 million people, the population? So a lot of people are moving to Canada, and I think a lot of them just aren't getting jobs when they move to Canada. That might be the thing. And the jobs they're getting are probably pretty low rent, not high value jobs. Yeah, word that when recession hits, this will be even more damaging than a regular one. Yeah. Scott Poland, Jimmy, price slam below $15 today was wild. Cannot believe the options trading. Amazingly blatant. Mm-hmm. Yes. Indeed. Whisker Biscuit. Why do sci-fi movies have a common theme that time on other planets is different than on Earth? Example, Interstellar, 1 hour on Earth is 7 years on that planet. Any truth to this? Time dilation. So the speed at which you're traveling relative to someone else is different because it's a different amount of time, or the gravitational pull that results. So the acceleration of gravity is equivalent to the acceleration of space and time. So like You can get redshifted if you're in a super high gravity environment, like a white dwarf, right? The escape velocity is so great that the light waves get dragged out into longer and longer wavelengths. They get redshifted, and a time dilation happens as a result of that as well. It's very hard to kind of explain in a hand wavy way, but how would I put it? So in Interstellar, this planet was close to a black hole. And the black hole has nothing can escape a black hole. That's why it's a black hole. Light can't even escape because it basically gets redshifted into nothingness and never leaves the black hole. And if you're very close to that black hole, you are experiencing very high levels of gravity that are an appreciable percent of the speed of light. The problem with Interstellar was that you've got a planet, right? And you got a black hole, and the planet is going around the black hole, right? So, according to Earth, time is very different for those folks going around the black hole compared to people on Earth that are going around our sun. But the spaceship was orbiting that planet. So as they're going around that black hole, the spaceship is experiencing essentially the same gravitational pull as the planet. Therefore, that dude wouldn't have aged 20 years on the spaceship waiting for them to get off the surface. That's just not how it would happen. They would age at the same rates because they're both experiencing the same gravitational pull of the black hole. And that's as much as I can do without having all sorts of bells and whistles and aids to explain exactly how general relativity works. So, all right. Virginia Beach 757. Talk more about reverse repo and discount window ending Monday. I mean, I'm not an expert on it. The discount window is a lending service the Federal Reserve has. The interest rates are not quite as low as one would want, especially in a day and age when interest rates are being raised in general. I mean, when interest rates were like 2% for a mortgage, you could rent the discount, you'd borrow from the discount window at almost 0%. So it didn't matter. But now that a mortgage rate is like 7.5%, 8%, you're probably borrowing at 4 to 5% from the discount window, and you might get 5% back in the reverse repo by taking the money there and sending it in the reverse repo, which is, the arbitrage is so puny it's probably not even worth it. Whereas the bank term funding program, you're borrowing at 1 or 2%. Then you take that money, put it into the reverse repo, and you're making 5%. So you're making, like 2 to 3 times what you're paying in interest. And so that makes sense. But now that program's ending, I think we might see the reverse repo start to decline fast again. And because the banks are going to need cash. There's no incentive for them to put that cash into the reverse repo and make 5% when they've got no other source for money after that. Does Miami. Jake Paul dies on national TV in July. Mike Tyson don't play in the ring. Oh, Jake Paul is going to get murdered. Mike Tyson might be 100 million years old. That man is terrifying, and he's got part of his brain is broken when it comes to competition. I don't see Jake Paul walking out of that ring. I don't see Mike Tyson holding anything back. I see him wanting to prove that he can murder someone and get away with it. The old man strength is real on that guy, and he is just a plug, a very fast, very terrifying, very powerful plug, and he's going to eat Jake Paul alive. That's what I think is going to happen. And anyone who got in the ring with Mike Tyson in the 80s was taking their life in their hands. I don't care how confident you were. I don't care how big you were. I don't care how fast you thought you were. You were dumb. Really, really, really dumb. And it wasn't until Mike Tyson started having like personal life problems, mental health problems, that he like get distracted in the ring and have issues. But Mike Tyson's worked on himself a lot. I don't know if you ever saw his one-act play, his one-man play. It's kind of brilliant, actually. He has his prefrontal cortex has finally developed. That's one thing that happened. And he is smarter and wiser, but he still recognizes that he's an animal when it comes to competition. And I think he goes into berserker mode like no one I've ever seen. And Jake Paul is going to get murdered. And you know what? I'm here for it. Fantastic. If there's something, I've never been one to like root for Mike Tyson, but I'm rooting for Mike Tyson on this one. Aaron Salentine, Houston, I like your nugget commercial, even though it reminds me of Long John Silver's back in the day. Part of the Tricon family. Yum Brands, as it is now. Coffee Donuts and Homer. Did anyone hear Genie is closing the new fulfillment center and routing purchases through one in Grapevine? I haven't heard nothing. But why would you make a new fulfillment center and then close it? That doesn't make sense to me. I heard GME will also issue its own credit card. I thought they were going to do one with like the is it the Power Club, whatever they call it, the Power Players, Power. What's the name of their club thing, Cat? I'm looking at you on the floor and you're just like a void. Like if someone from Interstellar were to orbit this cat, time would slow down for them. D is here. Coffee Donuts and Homer. Tetron Invest did a good deep dive about GME yesterday. Tetron Invest. I don't know who Tetron Invest is, but I can check it out. Poor taste in porn. Submitted an OSHA report about my former employer last night. A rep called me today. Lockout, tagout, saves lives. Use it. Yes. I'm not sure what your industry was, but I'm very familiar with it in the mining industry. You take your tags with you and you put your tags back when you return. You do not have somebody tag out for you. You do not forget to put your tags back. Safety protocols exist for a reason because people die, and then they don't know they're dead for a long time, or they don't know they're in trouble for a long time, and no rescues happen. So, yes, poor taste in porn. I agree. Look at Costco, minus 8%. Ooh, what happened with Costco? Costco normally goes gangbusters when stuff is shit in the fan. 7.64%. Another 3 after hours. They went from 756 down to 722. Lost $30 there. $35. Costco quarterly sales near 60 billion. It wasn't enough to boost stock. Costco's earning 60 billion a quarter in revenue. Mixed quarter. So they earned $3.92 a share, which is damn good. So earnings went up by 62 cents a share. And beat the estimates by 31 cents a share. And the stock price went down. What is going on? People make no sense, man. I don't get it. So you're up 20% in earnings year over year, and you're 10% higher than the estimates, and then the experts are like, sell. I guess, buy on rumors, sell on news. That's probably what's happening. I don't get it. Yet Gap went up 8% because they beat their earnings. So I don't know. I don't understand. Oops, guys, I don't understand anything. There's that. And I got to turn on that. Yeah. So see, $3.92 a share compared to $3.30 a share a year ago, and the estimate was going to be $3.61. So they beat their earnings, and everyone rewarded them by hammering the stock price down. I don't get it. Nothing makes sense anymore. Ludicrous Speed, very interesting show yesterday on Sears. I used to own a franchise Sears hometown store, but still learned some new stuff from the show yesterday. Oh, one of the hometown stores. I actually bought the last Sears thing I bought. That's the last 3 Sears things I bought. I bought a refrigerator, a dishwasher, and a Craftsman crawler and jack stand and new hydraulic jack. So, and I think those ones came from a hometown store in like Port Angeles or something. You can order online and then ship it from the store in Port Angeles, which is one thing I don't understand why brick and mortar guys haven't done already, is set up a distribution system through your brick and mortars, so you can just use your brick and mortars like a warehouse itself and cut down on shipping costs, right? Like I can order online and then just go look at the closest store and then just ship it to you that way, rather than from some fulfillment center in like Tennessee. You're probably paying a premium on shipping moving at 1,000 miles. Someone's got to figure that out. And I don't understand why no one has yet. Turkish, Houston. My BBY statement says shares wrote off, declared worthless. What does that mean? That means your broker sucks like my broker. And I'd say call and yell at them just for the sake of calling and yelling at them and be like, hey, I never, like, yes, they were declared worthless, but you're still the owner of record on those worthless shares. It's because if new equity comes, your worthless shares get replaced with that new equity. That's like, how do I put this? In the consummated plan for Bed Bath & Beyond, they state that Class 9 will get no payout. We don't want a payout. We don't care about a payout. We don't care about the waterfall. We don't care about any of that stuff. I do not care if they sell off every last little, speck of dust from the stores, and then I get a penny someday out of it because they paid off all the debts. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for that at all. I want somebody to make a credit bid on the company so that if they want to use the nulls, they have to reissue stock to the legacy shareholders and I get new stock. That's all I care about. I don't care about waterfall payments. I don't care about Class 9 representation regarding like if we're going to get money or not. I don't care about the money. I want new equity. New equity means squeezing the hell out of the shorts. And that's all I care about. I want to squeeze them. I don't want to get a penny per share of cash back from the bankruptcy. I don't care about that. Credit bid, nulls, new equity. Those are the three things I care about. So somebody credit bid them, use the nulls, and get me some new shares so we can go murder. That's what I want. So make that happen. Coffee, Donuts, and Homer. Where was the article about Ken Griffin propping up New York Community Bank? NYBC 1 billion. New York Community Bank gets $1 billion cash infusion. Here's AP. Embattled, New York Community Bank announces a lifeline of more than $1 billion from a group of investors Wednesday after seeing its stock plunge by more than 80% this year. The announcement sent shares of the bank stock of the bank, which has been hammered by weakness in commercial real estate and growing pains resulting from its buyout of a distressed bank, on a wild ride. After nearly halving earlier in the day, the stock surged nearly 30% after the announcement, only to give it all up and then swivel before ending with a gain of 7.5%. So it's like, woo! Hudson Bay Capital's involved, Reverence Partners, Citadel, Mnuchin's Liberty Strategic. So a whole bunch of like bad guys got together and made this happen. So there you go. New York Community Bank bought Signature Bank. Signature Bank was toast. It's the New York Community Bank's basically going through what UBS is going through, which is, hey, we bought this distressed bank. Oh crap, this distressed bank has way more liabilities than we ever expected, and now we're all screwed. It's like, any of you ever been a lifeguard? There's or first responder in general. My experiences with the wilderness first responder and lifeguarding, and like when people are panicking or in shock, there's certain ways to deal with them. Let's say you see someone getting caught in the riptide, so you swim out there with your little buoy, and you go to rescue them, and they're panicking so much they're trying to climb on top of you, and they're like drowning you in the water out of just like sheer panic of them almost drowning. They just want to get to the high point so they can breathe. Your job is to knock them the fuck out. You will pound their face so hard that they stop moving, and then you take their limp body back to shore, because that's the only way you're going to survive. Now, UBS and New York Community Bank, they saw someone drowning. They went out there and went to go rescue them, and now that drowning person is drowning them as well, and they have no idea how to get out of it because they didn't think about the panic that was the liability of these banks. And now they're stuck drowning out. Now, so rather than one bank just disappearing forever, you're going to have two banks disappear forever. Or if someone's dumb enough to come along and bail Signature Bank out with $1 billion, you might have 3 or 4 investment funds all drowning along with everybody else. It reminds me of the time I had the family that kept passing out. So, to the Google Earth. I told this story before, I believe, but it's still one of my favorite stories ever because it was such a bewildering experience. Okay, going to Beyond Hawaii. Going to Mauna Kea. So Mauna Kea here is at 13,796 feet, something like that. Almost 14,000 feet. And the telescopes are all up here, right? You got all these telescopes, big telescopes. There's a Keck telescope. And the Keck telescope here, can't quite see it. Back in the day, there was like 2 little posts and a log, kind of like a hitch for a horse, but like short. And for the cars would like drive through the building. On Saturdays, I would lead tours for tourists to go up to the mountain and to experience, being up at high altitude and seeing the telescopes and, giving them star tours and stuff. And we had certain rules. One was you couldn't be pregnant. You couldn't be under the age of 16. You couldn't be over the age of 75. You could not have gone scuba diving in the last 24 hours. And if you have heart conditions or lung problems, you can't come either. Those are like the 5 big things we required to be on the tour group. Because a lot of people, when they get to high altitude, and once you're up at almost 14,000 feet, the air is about 60% of what it is at sea level. It's very thin. And if you've got problems processing oxygen because you've been underwater in a pressurized environment for a while, or if your body's going through things such as pregnancy, or if you got heart problems and circulation problems, you are going to get to altitude and you could just die on us. Well, we had this family. It was an elderly mom, elderly dad, adult son, adult wife, and their like teenage kid. And the elderly parents, I think, were lying to me. I'm not allowed to check their ID, but I just have to say, if you're over 75, you can't come. And they're like, oh no, we're under 75. But like their kid looked like he was probably in his 40s. So I'm like, I mean, if they had him when he was a teenager, maybe. And then his kid was like 20, like college age. So I'm like, well, okay. So maybe they're 66 if they had him when he was really young, but I think they're older than this. Anyway, one of the rules is if you're feeling lightheaded, you're welcome to sit down, but do not put your head between your legs. Especially people that have heart issues, they lean forward, they put their head between their legs, their head drops below their heart, and they just pass out. Just pass out. So old guy, we do some hiking, and then we get to the Keck telescope, and somewhere along here is one of those like wood logs. And I see him go sit down the wood log, and I see him start to lean forward, and I go, no. And he puts his head between his legs and immediately just does a somersault and lays flat onto the ground, passed out, just snoring away. Monkey, it's not, get back up there. I'm telling a story. And the wife comes running over. She's like, Howard, oh no. And she leans over to go help him. Oh, sorry. The other rule is if you see someone pass out, don't help them. Do not help them. And she sees him pass out. She leans forward to go help him. Her head goes below her heart. She passes out on top of him. Their adult son. Mom, Dad, no. I'm like, stop. He goes to help mom and dad pass out. So I've got a dog pile of this family all of a sudden. And then I see the 20-year-old son run over, and I just grab him by his shirt and pull him back. I'm like, stop. We will deal with this. Call the park ranger. Park ranger comes over. He helps me like pull each one up. The minute we get their head above their heart, they just wake up again. Like, oh, what happened? They're having the most blissful sleep as they're squishing, making a sandwich out of their grandma. That is, I think, what's happening with the banks. They see one bank going, they go, no, and they go to help, and then they pass out on top of that bank, and the next bank comes along and goes, no, we gotta help, and then they pass out on top of them. At some point, the FDIC or the treasurer, someone's got to step in and go, stop helping. We will seize all these banks. We're going to organize it. We're going to figure it out. The problem is I don't think the FDIC has the money to do that at the moment. So they might need Congress to step in and authorize them a lot more dineros to help out in the long run on that one. But yeah, life is full of analogies and metaphor. Let's just throw them all out there. Houston, Ryanair is not subsidized by Irish government. I thought they were subsidized by Irish government. Are you telling me they're not subsidized? Well, it looks like here Ryanair sued Dutch bailouts of other airlines and European doing bailouts. Europe's airline called on European Commission to reject plans for further discriminatory state aid. I thought I could have sworn that they had gotten subsidies. 24% of Ryanair airports likely to be propped up by subsidies. Okay, maybe that's where the subsidies are coming from. That the airports, that their port fees were being subsidized by the local governments. I'll look at this more. Anyway, I thought, well, subsidize everything. I don't know. I don't care. Confidence Homer got 15 more GME, the price of $15 a share. Thanks, Shorts. Boom. John Castro, loop all the intros and have a show of just intros. I mean, that would be like half an hour long. There's a lot of them now. There's one of them I cannot show yet because it's just for MOAS. It's sitting there waiting for the day MOAS happens. That Alexander prepared. And there it shall sit and wait and wait and wait. I could fall asleep to them, especially the butterfly one. Except leave Batman out of it. It startles me every time you play it. Benny. Houston, you're the man. Let's have a drink on PP after dark later. I'm going to try and get on there. I'm not sure if I'll make it in time before he logs off, but if I can get home a little earlier, I'm going to be on. He wrote me today, asked me to come on, and I'll see if I can get in there. Stephanie L, can you talk about pie? I mine almost did, but forgot why. Well, let's look at... Okay, so Pi Network. Whoops, that is the Keck telescope still. Pi Network price $38. Holy shit! Dang, man, 38.78 one point, 38.03. So it's up like $7 since the last talked about it. So Pi is a crypto coin, and that crypto coin is mined via the Pi Network, which is on your phone. So. Get it, and every 24 hours. Oh, sorry, it's gonna take a sec for the sucker to get in there. Every 24 hours, you click the little mine button, you blink, and you mine. And just existing and having friends that are also hitting that little button results in the unlocking of Pi coins. And the more people you have in your network, the more Pi coins get unlocked, and the more you get, and so on. Right now, you supposedly are not allowed to get your coins out of their locked network, their main net, for another year or so. But people managed to get them out and trade them. And so 24-hour volume, 341,000 of them have traded. So like 10,000 coins have traded or so. And people somehow got their coins out and into markets like Binance. And I don't know how they did it. I've been trying to figure it out because I've got several thousand of them, and I would love to get $38 a coin for them and go, peace. Yeah. So that's why, because you like right now, I've got a large enough network that I'm mining about 14 of them a day. So 14 at $38. Let's go back to ye old calculator. So theoretically, come on, times 38. Theoretically, I'm doing $532 a day in Picoin, mining that. So cool. I don't know how to actually get that I would love to get that $532 in my pocket every day. That would be fantastic. But I don't know how. I don't know how to turn any of the coins I have into actual cash. Apparently there are apps in the Pi browser that you can like trade Pi coins for goods and buy things and services and stays at bed and breakfasts and things. I have not quite used that yet. I just want to take the coins I have, give them to someone who then gives me cash, and I go, cool. That's what I want. Because I would love to use that to buy $100,000 in GameStop, and then I'm cool. But yeah, I think I've got a link down somewhere in the description. You can join Pi via my link, and you get a whole Pi coin. It's basically at $38 just for joining my network and allowing me to mine even more. And then you can get other people to mine. It's a big giant Ponzi scheme that we can never realize the cash on because I have no idea how to get the cash out of it. But it's free. And you just go boop once every 24 hours. And then when you forget to go boop, somebody yells at you and goes, better boop your phone. And then you boop it. So there you go. That's why we're doing it. So by all means, do it. Did I lose my spot? I think I did. Two-wheel freedom, as long as the fight's not over one round, let him eat canvas. Oh, definitely. Just, I want to see like the slow-mo and the spit and the mouth guard flying, and then it's over. That'd be great. ECB, Costco is the best example of a fraud market. Costco is an amazing company. It is such a straightforward business model. It's so easy peasy. You buy a membership. The membership subsidizes the items, right? So you can buy the items essentially at cost. Boom, done. That's it. And they don't have too many items. Basically have their buyers go out and go, okay, we need to sell a basketball. Find us the best basketball. And they go, this one's the best basketball. Okay, we will buy 1 million of those basketballs. So you go to Costco, there's only 1 million of these basketballs. Other things they do is they're like, okay, we need this allergy medicine. And they go out and they find the allergy medicine. They get it in bulk. So there's like 90 million of them. And then they're like, you know what? The patent is up on this allergy medicine. We can contract and make our own and put our Kirkland label on it. And eventually the Kirkland brand can end up outselling the original brand, and they just stop offering the original brand. Like the garbage bags. The Kirkland garbage bags are largely considered like the best garbage bags around. They're better than you get from like Glad or I don't know, heavy cinch sack, all those ones. And so now they don't bother offering competing brands because they just went and found a company that can make them a better garbage bag than anyone else at cost, and they're done. It's a pretty brilliant thing. And because everything is at cost, people, when they got money, buy more. When they don't have money, will option to go shop there rather than go to like a local grocery store that might be more expensive. Monkey gets these, Michael Mystery sent Monkey this bottle of Cosequin tablets. They help with like joints and muscle aches and stuff. And it lasted like 3 months. And it's like, oh, Monkey seems to be doing well. She's not getting sore after our walks. I'll go to the pet store and I'll get some more. The pet store, I think the bottle Michael Mystery sent me was like 180 pills. So it lasted about 3 months. One in the morning, one in the evening. I go to the pet store. They have a bottle of 110 and it's $100. Whoa. That's Michael Mystery sent me a hell of a gift. And I was like, well, I'll buy him because I love my dog. I got him. and they lasted not quite 3 months, like 2.5 months. And I go make a trip to Costco, and there's the bottle, the 180 pill bottle, and it's $22. So I'm like, I love supporting my local pet store business, but not so much that I'm paying like a $90 premium on the pills. That's a lot of money. That is like 7 GameStops. I don't need to do that. So I will get it from Costco. I apologize, local pet store. You should probably buy your pills from Costco, sell them for $30, get your $7 upcharge in each one, and people will be happy because they want to spend the gas money to get to Costco. Yeah. Don Caesar Shadem. I'm an hour behind, but I bet the Fed is going to use that New York bank crash as a justification to extend the Bank Term Funding Program, which expires on Monday. The emergency fund is set up 3/23. So you're saying that they're going to go 2 weeks, set up the emergency fund, and go from there. I wonder if anyone's going to collapse in those 2 weeks. I think in order to offer these bailouts, they should have to reinstate Glass-Steagall. Like, no more bailouts for banks until Glass-Steagall is a law again. And get the banks the hell out of the markets because they do not belong there. They should not be there. And we never had to bail a bank out until we got rid of Glass-Steagall in 1999. And since then, we've been doing nothing but bailing banks out for the last 20 years, 25 years. So, yeah. Come on, Fed and senators and presidents. Reinstate Glass-Steagall, and that's the only way banks will get any bailing out from this point forward. 14, I got 12 minutes, man. Okay. The story's not getting old. Please put the story in your shorts. I probably should. Video Boy Brand thing, I think it's the third telling of the story. It left a mark, dude. There are so many stories up on the mountain. People's brains do not work at altitude. I had a professor who could not function at altitude. He was from Canada, went to the National Telescope in Canada, in Chile, and he was so useless because they're at like 16,000 feet at Chile that they sent him to Hawaii thinking he could work at the Canada-France telescope. It's 3,000 feet shorter. Maybe he'll do better. Completely useless. So useless, they're like, okay, we'll give him a job at the college at University of Hawaii Hilo and at sea level, and that'll be fine. And then he, at sea level, totally works. He's normal. Although he was one of my professors from my observational astronomy course, and we had gone up to the school's 1-meter telescope on top of Mauna Kea. And he's like, there's a laptop that controls the telescope. And you turn on the laptop, and it was taking a long time to turn on because it's an ancient laptop. And it's like, oh, and it keeps accidentally resetting it. He's like, oh, what's going on? Keeps resetting it. And then like goes to check something, comes back, accidentally kicks the cord out from under the telescope and turns off the computer again, and then runs to go plug the cord back in, but clotheslined himself from the telescope tube and just knocked himself out. It was just like thunk out cold. I went to go help him, and the other professor's like, just leave him there. So we just like left a head injury professor just laying on the ground and finished our run and then took him home, where he just probably woke right back up again. Yeah, there was a video we'd show at the visitor center, and it was talking about people's brains at altitude, the construction of one of the telescopes. And there's, you're supposed to work for a certain number of hours and then come back down to the Halepaku, that 9,000 feet. It's like a hotel for workers and astronomers. And this one guy like hadn't come down yet. He's working on some railing, like welding a railing for one of the telescopes. And the foreman calls him up, and he's like, man, no matter how many times I cut this piece of the railing, it's still too short. So it's like not long enough to fit the thing. So he cuts it again. It's still not long enough. So he cuts even more off of it. It's even shorter now. He doesn't get it. Because your brain, for a lot of people, just does not work at altitude. It is wild. And like, then you give a whole population of people that are supposed to be like the smartest nerds in the existence going up there and then losing like 50 IQ points the minute they go up to altitude. It's I think like only people from Tibet and Bolivia should work at telescopes. They're the only ones whose bodies have actually adapted to such altitudes. Stephanie L., do you remember that family that all died on a hike? Mom, dad, and toddler. Even their dog was found dead maybe 3 years ago. What actually happened? No, that sounds very morbid. Sent GeoGuessr friend request to you. Handle is Free Palestine. Okay. I don't know if I have any friends on GeoGuessr. I don't know how to do that, but okay, I'll look at it next time I log in. No. That sounds awful. That many people and dog all died on a hike. Sodium burst? Like there can be like ponds that have natural soda streams, and then then they nucleate suddenly and fill an entire area with carbon dioxide. Not sodium burst, carbon dioxide burst. That's what I'm looking for. And then just kind of go to sleep. Happened that village in Africa next to their lake, and that's the only thing I could think of that could just wipe everyone out. And if you see around them like raccoons falling out of trees and stuff, that could be a good indicator of that. Beaver brand, the same thing happens in enclosed tanks when the walls are made of iron. The iron rusts, sucking all the oxygen out of the air, and if you enter when unvented or without your own air supply, you dead. Yeah. Laza, tell me I'm not crazy for holding BBBY to the end. Well, I mean, I held it to the end. I might be crazy. The way I see it, and I mentioned it the other day on financial. This article that came out last month. I mentioned it on the show. I mentioned it doing a couple interviews. We'll just read it again because why not? It's a good article to read, and it gives you a basis of like what is happening. Sure, except cookies, whatever. Okay, so the title is How a Failed Retailer and Tax Shield Can Create an Accidental SPAC. Call it the accidental SPAC. Wish, an online retailer, listed its shares during the IPO frenzy of the pandemic. Not long after, in early 2021, its market cap peaked at $18 billion. But its business model, an online store with offbeat products and promotions, never quite landed. Earlier this week, Wish announced a deal to sell itself for $173 million to a Singaporean e-commerce company, Q0010. Weird name. A seemingly ignominious conclusion for the one-time VC-backed high flyer. But Wish's managers are preparing a second act. The company is now known as ContextLogic, which will survive as a shell company. It'll be fortified both by retaining the cash sale proceeds and a whopping $2.7 billion in cumulative net operating losses, NOLs. The U.S. federal corporate tax rate is 21%, leaving the nominal value of the resulting potential future tax shield at just under $600 million. ContextLogic's new goal, like traditional blank check vehicles, will be to find a merger partner capable of using those losses to offset its tax liability. Finding an appropriate deal partner is not such an easy task. The U.S. tax authority puts limits on acquirers' use of tax losses to determine pure arbitrage transactions. Therefore, the current shareholders of Wish will have to remain in economic control of a combined company to use the full $2.7 billion balance. Like a SPAC, ContextLogic could supplement its firepower with a private equity firm providing a capital infusion needed to buy a larger business, its management said. The Knoll Shell Company are not entirely unprecedented. After the U.S. regional bank Washington Mutual, I like how they say it's regional bank Washington Mutual when it was the largest savings loan in the world. It was all over the country. But anyway, failed during the financial crisis. Its $6 billion in Knowles were placed in a publicly traded company that launched in 2012. Eventually, private equity firm KKR invested hundreds of millions of dollars in that shell known as WMIH. In 2018, WMIH finally emerged with a real business, Nation Star Mortgage, at an aggregate valuation of $3.8 billion. WMIH, the shares of which initially traded at around $10, are now above 70. Well, when it was WAMU, the shares were trading at 1 cent before it became WMIH. So it went from basically 1 cent to $70, but it took about 10 years for it to happen. Because it collapsed in 2008, right? Wish's book value, or its assets less liabilities, was $272 million, or just over $10 per share, when last measured at the end of October. That figure has undoubtedly dropped in the past almost 5 months, although the $173 million gross acquisition price may still represent a discount to the latest book value. Some shareholders may well sell their Wish shares at the current price of around $6.50 and move on. But the Knoll strategy the company is pursuing can be thought of as a free call option on a merger and acquisition punt. It still might be an easier task than selling the trinkets on the internet. So this is the article from FT, Financial Times, talking about how Knowles can be used as a SPAC without mentioning specifically Bed Bath & Beyond, which has probably upwards of $10 billion in Knowles. So more than these guys do. So 5 times more than Wish does, and $4 billion more than Washington Mutual had. And Washington Mutual, the subsequent company, went to $70 a share without having huge retail backing behind it going, fuck, make this happen. So here's the link. I'll put it in the chat so you can send it to people, make them read it. Bam, bam, post it on Teddy, whatever. It's a very interesting read that kind of tells what the play is. The play is credit bid, utilize the Knowles, give everyone the equity back, money from heaven. That's it. It's a pretty simple plan. So we just need the credit bid to happen. Lone Wolf says heat stroke. Damn. Beta Branson valleys, when it's cold, experience stratification of the air by density, so carbon dioxide pools in low places can kill you. That is also, damn. Laza sounds like crypto pyramid scheme. Except like I'm not paying any money for it. I'm just getting more of these crypto coins that I can't do anything with. It doesn't take me any work. I load it, I wait 10 seconds for it to load, and I go boop, and then I go back to my life. So I do it once a day. And then I get 14 of these coins a day, and they're worth $38 each apparently. And wonder if I could like go to a bank and borrow against them all. Look, I got 6,000 of these things. I want to buy a house. Michael Harrow, Houston. Got a good April Fool's joke you can play on your brother. Hold a show on April 1st and call Gardner and talk about MMTLP, not letting him know he's on your show until later. He'll know. He gets notifications too. Pronto. I doubt the percentage of carbon dioxide can get high enough in any location, even though CO2 is heavier than air. Unless a soda lake bursts. It has to be an area of volcanic activity. That can happen too. Happened in the general area of Yosemite once. Turkish, need a referral code for the pine mining. Where is... Okay, I click on this. I click on it. Can I get a referral code here? One sec. Open up the Pi node on my computer here. Invite more. Yes. Use other channel. Come on. You can do it. Well, when it gets loaded, I can load the referral code in here. My username is Hustman. I think the referral code is Hustman to add me. Come on, man. Why you no worky? Referral team, invite more. That's what I want, right? Add more. How do I want to invite more. I want to use other channel. Gosh dang it. How do I'll do this from the computer. I can do this from the phone. It'll probably be quicker. Bam. Invite more. Use other channel. Copy. I email that to myself. I can always do that. Compose. To Houston Wade. Compose email. Put that in there. Send that. Then I go to my email, which Google Chrome. Wong. Bing. Email. From me. Copy this. Whoops. Copy that. Copy. Put it into the chat, Houston. Put it into the chat. It's in the chat. Bam. Oh, it's oh, here. How do I? Okay, go like that. Bum, 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 bum. To claim your pie, follow this link. Bam. There we go. in the chat, all for you. You're ready to go. You're happy as a clam. Okay. Richard K. Houston. Farrand was talking the other day about hearing the Oro Grande could have as much as 11 billion barrels of oil. That's a lot. I know that their data is showing 3.5 billion plus. I'd be happy if there's 11 billion. That'd be as much as what's in Guyana, that's causing a giant oil boom and is raising the average income of that country faster than anyone in the world. They went from $7,000 a year, like 5 years ago, to like $38,000 a year is now the average income in Guyana. I have thought about like, hey, maybe I should go to Guyana and open up a high-end restaurant because I don't know if they have those there. And they can come and eat some fancy food. Maybe, I don't know. That's how you do it. Oh, there's a reset of the chat. Richard K. He always made his estimates of the torchlight oil at a conservative 3.2 billion barrels. I think the discovery of the easy to access oil in that syncline has upped the thought, because the previous estimates had to do with fracking, and this is easy to get to oil that needs no fracking whatsoever. And that's the good stuff. That's you just shallow. You drill down 2,000 feet, you start slurping oil like crazy, and you get a pile of cash on hand to do whatever else you need to do, which would include fracking in the future and setting up more infrastructure and more pipelines and tanks and, natural gas stores and things like that. So that's why I think those might go up. Frontal, the reason you cannot go to high altitude after deep diving is decompression sickness, where the bubbles appear everywhere in your body and it's extremely painful. So, you gotta get the bends. Don't get the bends, and don't lie to me about it if I gotta take you up there. Peter Brand cooking a 4-pound pork loin roast this entire show. The smell is amazing. I've done that before. I like I will throw pork ribs into the oven, slow cook them, let them just simmer there for hours, and then when I'm done with the show, I've got nice flaky pork ribs and they're delicious. Joel Dawes, I got my pie coin. Thank you. How do I make more? You do it like a pyramid scheme. You have to ask more people to join your little network, and you get them to join. And the more that have joined, and the more you get, and then you have something that is supposedly worth money that you can't do anything with. So there you go. Oh shit, it's 4:34. I got to get going. I'm going to try and do a Twitch stream this weekend. I got to figure out, I have to, work on the car this weekend. I gotta get that thing working, or it works. I just have to get it so it's legal for me to drive around. And if I do work on the car this weekend, I'm gonna try and live stream it. You can watch us do it, because then the car becomes a tax write-off, and who doesn't like that? It's a prop for the show. Ta-da! How to weasel your way out of taxes. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. I will catch you whenever I catch you. And until then, whack. No, whack.